Hello everyone, myself Assistant Professor Partha Mistry from Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. Today I deliver a lecture on our chapter number 1, the concepts and theories of business ethics from our subject that is professional ethics having the subject code of 3150709. And the topic name of this video lecture is Religion and Morality, Etiquette and Professional Codes, and Indian Ethical Tradition. So, in last video, we discussed about the definition of ethics, personal ethics, what is professional ethics, how the moral standards formed. So, all these topics are covered in our last video. So, in this video, we discuss about religion and morality, etiquette, and professional codes and Indian ethical tradition. Here is the flow of content of our topic that is religion and morality. So, how the religion and morality are concerned with each other. So, today we discuss about two religion, about Christianity and about Hinduism, how morality and etiquette and professional codes play their role. So, this topic is also discussed today. And finally, Indian ethical tradition. And then after we go to discuss with the GTU question which may ask in a GTU exams. So first we discuss about religion and morality. So many people believe that morality comes from religion, which provides its followers its own set of moral instruction, beliefs, values, tradition, and commitments. So each and every people may or may not be belong to some religion, either Christianity, either Hinduism, either Muslims, either they belong to Sikh Dharma. So each and every people maybe belong to some religion. So their gurus or their saints or their holy person gives some moral values, some moral instruction or some ethical view to their followers. So how they make their life much better and some high values they have adapt from their religion. So each and every religion gives some moral values to their followers. Let me discuss two examples of religion and morality, Christianity and Hinduism. So, first we discuss about the Christianity. If we take Christianity as an illustration, it offers its believers a view that they are unique creatures of divine intervention that has give them with consciousness and ability to love. So, what Christianity says to their believers, so they all are unique creatures of God. So, they have ability to love with each other and they give some moral and ethical values to their followers. So, it must be helped to each and every one without any uh, any interaction provided by the God. They are finite and bound to earth, and having been born morally, flooded with the original sin, they are prone to wrongdoing. So they are born morally flooded with the original sin. So whatever the sin they have to do in their last born, so they are bound with them and they are prone to wrongdoing. So he or she does not do the wrong thing because it is not recognized by the God. So each and every person has to do well for everyone. For the Christian, the way to do this is to emulate the life and the example of Jesus Christ, who was very comprised of love and sacrifice. So their role model is Jesus Christ. or we can say Jesus Christ. So Jesus Christ, through entire life, he loved each and every person. Either it will be enemy, either it will be a well wishers of them. So each and every person love Jesus Christ, and finally the Jesus Christ is become a unique person, or it followed by the Christian, and Christianity will be developed. So the every Christians must be have the ethical values, and morally it will be strong as the Jesus Christ say in its Bible. Christians find an expression of love in the life of Christ, who died on the cross to atone for the sins of mankind, whom he loved abundantly. So we know very well that Jesus Christ, or we can say Jesus Christ, died on the cross. So that's why each and every Christians put their cross on their neck. So, Jesus Christ died for the sins of mankind, whom he loved abundantly. So, Jesus Christ died for their followers, for the sins of mankind, whom he loved abundantly. Their expression of this love is shown when they perform selfless acts to help even strangers in distress. He loved each and every people. There is selfless acts done by Jesus Christ whenever he was on the earth, and even it will be help to the strangers. So there is no restriction for the love provided by the Jesus Christ. So it also love to the strangers, and put some belief, and put some ethical values, and put some moral values even in the strangers in their life. So this is all about the Christianity. Now we discuss how the moral and ethical values build up in Hinduism, and from which source they have to take. Hinduism, the major religion in India, does not provide one acceptable source of moral standards. So we know very well that in Hinduism there are many books, and there are many shastras we have. So the Hindu moral standards are exemplified in works such as Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Panchatantra, and Upanishads, etc. So there are many more scripts we have. So from there we achieve some moral values, some ethical values to make our life very, very useful. So there is no one source as in Christianity. There is a more than one source we have in Hinduism to adapt some moral standards. One of common fundamental areas of agreement which can be called the Indian religious tradition is the theory of karma, the law of Saul and the law of Mukti. So in Hinduism, there is a one thing is that if you do some good karma, so you get the good fruits. So whenever you do the karma, you does not ask about how the fruits are achieved either in this birth or in the next birth. So the law of Saul and the law of Mukti is also discussed in each and every books of Hinduism. So law of Mukti is also discussed very deeply in Vedas also, or in Upanishad also. When the fruits of actions are such that they cannot be enjoyed in the present life. So whatever the action you do, so some of fruits you have to given. So the action such that they cannot be enjoyed in the present life. It is believed that the benefits of righteous deeds or penalties for wrongdoing will be reaped in person's next birth as a human or any other being. We know that one stream of Hinduism followed the Punarjanma, rebirth. So, in rebirth, what is the concept? If you do some good things in present birth, so the fruits of that kind will be fulfilled in your next birth, either in the uh, animal, either it will the human being, so you can uh, achieve that kind of fruits in next birth. Only extreme fruits of those good or bad actions can be reaped in the person's present life. So it is belief of all Hindus from the Hinduism books, religion books. So the extreme fruits of those goods or bad actions can be reaped in the person's present life. So it may be some good fruits are achieved by a particular person in their present life. It is the followers of Hinduism. So we see that the Bhagavad Gita, a major source or major source of action. So all the Hindus follow the Bhagavad Gita, and the Bhagavad Gita also underlines that the fact that a person has a choice in action but never in its outcome, or we can say never in its reaction. So a person has a choice in action. If we do a good karma or bad karma, or good things or bad things in our life, but how the fruits will become, how the outcomes, so what is the result after doing the karma, which is not in our hand or it is not in our choice. The results are determined the moment the action is carried out. The fruits thereof cannot be avoided, and in any case are not under the control of human being. The karma is in our hand. Which kind of work we have to do, either good or either bad, it is in our hand. But the result is not in our hand, it is not in our control. It is control only and only in the God's hand. Therefore, people should concentrate on their actions without worrying about the result they will bring. So the people only concentrate whether either it will be in the good profession, either it will be in the normal profession. So they do their actions without worrying about the results, because the results is not in particular person's hand. So they will be continue to do a good things in their entire life. So morally and ethically it will be very very strong if they follow the rules of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us that become moral is in the hand of particular person. All Hindu religions thinking leads to the general principles of ethical conduct that must be followed for the achievement of liberation from sin. So the good things we have to do. So from sin we can survive if we follow the rules of Bhagavad Gita, of Ramayana, of Mahabharata, and many more books from the Hindu religion. So controlling all passions, no injury to the life in any form. So we cannot make injure to someone else from their existing life. Check on all desires for pleasures are principles which are acknowledged universally in all Hindu tradition and beliefs. So from Hinduism we can achieve many more good things from different sources of different religious books of Hindu Dharma. Next, we discuss about morality, etiquette, and professional codes. So, it is necessary to understand the differences between morality and etiquette and morality and law. While morality is the moral code of an individual or of a society, etiquette is a set of rules for well mannered behavior. So etiquette is, it is the combination of number of rules for a good behavior, or we can say well mannered behavior of each and every profession. So it is very important a person have the etiquette. Etiquette is an unwritten code or rules of social or professional behavior, such as medical etiquette. So each and every profession have etiquette. So according to their profession a person should have etiquette. So he followed some rules in their life throughout from their profession. Morality can be also differentiated from law, which consists of statutes, regulations, common law, and constitutional law. So it is different from law. Morality is different from law because law consists some regulations, some limitations, some deep rules, a common law or constitutional law. So it is different than the law. Morality is different from professional codes of ethics, which are special rules governing the members of professions, say of doctors, lawyers, and so on. So the professional codes is different from doctors. Professional codes is different for the lawyers. Professional code is different for the teachers and professors. So it is depend on a particular post or particular profession, that which kind of profession in you. So according to that, professional codes are followed, and it is different from the morality. Morality is not necessarily based on the religion, as many people think, although we draw our moral beliefs from many sources. So it is not necessary that the morality only comes from the religion. So there are many more sources from where the morality comes from the person. So some person does not believe in any religion. So there is not, we can say that there is no moral values he or she have. He she have moral values from other source. So it is not necessary a person only get the moral values from the religion. So although we draw our moral beliefs from many sources, the philosophy of trusteeship implies that an industrialist or businessman should consider himself to be a trustee of wealth he possesses. He should think that he is only a custodian of his wealth meant to be a use for the purpose of business. So each and every person, either he or she is a businessman, so it should be considered himself to be a trustee of the wealth he possesses, whatever he earned throughout his life. So their use of that wealth is in good manner or in the public manner, or they have to become a kind person to have the society also. The wealth belongs to the society and should be used for the greatest good of all. So it he she must be help to the society for the growth of particular society. So next we discuss about the Indian ethical tradition. India has rich ethical traditions which imagine in the scripts of the land like the Gita, the Upanishad, etc. Hindu scripture speaks of the performance of right duty at the right time in the right manner. So Hindu scripture speaks that a people, a person should follow their duty, a right duty at the right time, but in the right manner. The rich Indian tradition has always emphasized the dignity of human life and right to live in a respectful manner. So, Indian tradition has always emphasized the dignity of human life. So, how the human life can be enriched rather than the other civilians. So, higher moral values must have in a particular person. So, all these things is discussed in Hindu scriptures. So, you should follow a right path, a right doing, and right work to adopt a particular person's own life. The rich values that once famous in India are now disappearing from the mainstream. So these moral values are, we can see that in present generation it will be disappearing, but Indian traditions are copied and followed by the Western countries. So if you go far away from India, So Indian ethical standards and Indian moral values are adopted by the people of other countries like US, Canada, Australia, Germany, Japan, France, England, New Zealand, etc. So in their social welfare and organizational conduct, so they are adopt the Hinduism for their own growth. The origin of trusteeship principle can be traced to the concept of non-possession detail in Bhagavad Gita. Gandhiji also advocated Sarvodaya. The meaning of Sarvodaya is welfare for all. There should be a family atmosphere and harmony in workplace. So the Gandhiji says that if you work at some place, so there is a familiar atmosphere at that workplace, and harmony in workplace should have. Gandhiji's philosophy of trusteeship has got more relevance in the present scenario. In the recent past, social involvement by business has, for the most part, taken the shape of public charity. So the trusteeship concept is now take the shape of public charity. So many charities in India nowadays, so many organizations have their own charity. So today we discuss some of example regarding the trusteeship and how their work are going in our country. This has led to the building of temples, hospitals, and educational institutions. So, if a organization or a company build a trusteeship and make their wealth towards the society, so it will be helpful to the society. A few examples of such activities would include the Birla Temple in Kolkata. Aditya Birla Group is the owner of that Birla Temple and built the Birla Temple in Kolkata. So many more Birla temples are available in our country. Sri Vivekananda Research and Training Institute set up by Excel Industries in Mandvi, which is very much in the spirit of trusteeship. The L&T Welfare Center in Bombay, so they are also doing a good work towards the society. A Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, so this is also one of the good organization for doing well things in India. The Voltas Lifeline Express that has been running on Indian tracks for over a decade. So all these are the examples for the trusteeship, and they do a good thing for the society in India. Topic name is righteousness as the way in the Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita quotes numerous instances of how moral values and ethics can be incorporated in one's work life. So the person can achieve some moral and ethical values from the verse of Bhagavad Gita. Many of its verses are directly significant for the modern manager who may be confused about his or her direction and struggling to find an answer to ethical dilemmas. So, some verses of Bhagavad Gita give some more guidance towards the people, or we can say company manager, if he or she face some problems, so they get the answer to solve the ethical dilemmas. The Lord Krishna said that the work or karma is the driving force of life, and this work has to be ethical. So the Lord Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita that a karma is driving force of life. You should do the karma. And this karma or this work has to be ethical. It must be ethical. So from that you get the better fruits rather than you expect in your life. Chapter 2, verse 47 said that you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. So a particular person have right to perform their duty, prescribed duty, but there is no control of fruits of their action on that particular person. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty. This is important message of Gita, that the performer of the action has only to perform prescribed duty and not engage in the result of the action. So as discussed we earlier, that a person should have permission to do their work, but there is no control of that particular actions fruit on a particular person. It will be only completely in the hand of God. If the worker leaves the result of the work to the Lord on the realization that the result is beyond his control, then he can be serene forever, because he is not worried of the result, whether it good or bad. So a person that doing that particular work does not worried about the result, because the result is not in his control. So this teaching of Gita draws one's attention to nishkam karma. So you do your karma politely, 100% effort. So you do your work politely, and you should not under the control of particular karma's fruit, whether you achieve in this life or in next life. Lord Krishna's promise in the 7th and 8th verse of chapter 6, that is of the Gita, is that whenever evil dominates, the Lord takes an avatar to set right the situation and re-establish the Dharma. Translated, these words means as follows. The slok is that Yada Yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam svrjamyaham. Means whenever and wherever there is a decline of dharma and ascendance of adharma, then Sikon of the Bharat race, I manifest myself in a body. So whenever adharma is placed in Bharat race, so the God reborn in the country. परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. Means for the protection of the good, for the destruction of the wicked, and for the re-establishment of dharma, I am born from age to age. So the God reborn from age to age whenever the adharma is established. So this is all about the righteousness is the way in the Bhagavad Gita. So these are the GTO questions for GTO exam. First we discuss the explain religion and morality in brief. Then what is etiquette, what you understand by professional codes, how Christianity gives moral values to their followers, how Hinduism gives moral values to Hindus. Write a brief note on Indian ethical tradition. So these all questions may ask in your GTO exams. Thank you.